Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I've been encouraging you to pursue the American dream. You know, and I tell you right now, with the weird stuff that happens on Wall Street, the volatility that's out there, the difficulty in so many different financial fronts, people still need a place to stay, which is why real estate remains a phenomenal industry, which is why I encourage people to check out the folks over there at Rich Club, and it's exactly like it sounds, richclub.org. Karen McClure, she's a regular. She comes on here all the time talking about what's going on at Rich Club. Karen, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kevin.
Tell us a little bit real quickly about Rich Club before you introduce your guest for us.
All right. Rich is a nonprofit trade association, and our goal is to help people invest in real estate to improve their financial futures. We offer education, networking, and good people to do business with. So we'd like everybody to come out and check us out.
Yeah, very good. And that's richclub.org. Tell us about your guest today.
Today we have John Gray. He's with Real Property Management Houston, and he's going to talk to us about managing properties, the most fun part.
Well, very good. Welcome to the program, John. How are you?
Well, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Why don't you just start off with your elevator speech, if you will?
Well, Real Property Management is the largest property manager in the country. We have over 200 and almost 50 offices nationwide. So we do have quite a footprint, and we try to standardize processes and practices throughout the country to make it as efficient as possible when managing rental properties.
Very good. Go ahead there, Karen.
Okay, I know we're going to talk about how people can manage their own properties a bit better. Is there one thing you find that people that are doing it themselves just really tend to do wrong?
Well, it comes in several areas, Karen. The probably most investors, focus primarily on the transaction, the art of the deal, and oftentimes, property management is an afterthought. But certainly, if they mismanage the property, that dream deal will turn into a nightmare real quick. A couple of the areas where they tend to make mistakes is in mispricing their property in the first place. They tend to overprice relative to the market, and if that overpricing causes that property to lay vacant for an extra 3 or 4 or 5 days, that costs some serious money. And if the rent was average $1,200 a month, and each day it goes vacant, that's costing them $30 a day. And so sometimes they tend to misprice it, and it sits vacant. So they need to be real careful about the price that they set for it. Make sure it's on the market, and then that will attract the attention and hopefully a very short vacancy time.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing the total range, single-family home, multi-family home? Talk about the scope of the type of properties you represent.
Well, the majority of the properties we represent are single-family homes. We do have some small multi-family units in the 20 to 30-unit range, but typically the vast majority are single-family homes.
Okay. Karen?
I guess you know how much things rent for because you're renting all the time. Is there a good way to find out prices?
To find the market price? There's several ways. If you can always talk to a real estate agent and get comps for similar price houses in your area. Mm-hmm. You can also check on other websites to find out what other similarly equipped houses and sizes are actually asking rents are. That's not as good as what they actually rented for, but it'll certainly get you in the ballpark. It's far better to be right at or slightly below the market than it is to be above the market in terms of rental. It's a very hot rental market in Houston right now. Vacancies aren't, if they're priced right, vacancies aren't staying vacant for very long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The other thing that we do, and an individual investor can do that. I mean, once they've got it on the market, they're going to start receiving calls, whether they be from the website or their sign in the yard. And one thing that we try to do is, instead of having that owner go out and meet 20 or 30 people in the course of a week showing the property, what we suggest that they do is schedule a couple of showing days and say, I'm going to be at the property Saturday between 2 and 4. You can come see it then. Then all of a sudden, when they get 4 or 5 people in the house, then it creates a buzz and a sense of excitement
and even urgency.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what percentage of particularly obviously individual homeowners who are in the investment arena, what percentage do you think are not using a property management company?
I would say it's probably half.
About half. And what's the cost factor typically for using a property manager? I'm sure there's some standard formula out there.
Well, property managers charge in 3 different areas generally. They charge an ongoing management fee on gross rents collected. They will charge a leasing fee out of the first month's rent, and then they'll typically charge a renewal fee. So most property managers charge in those 3 areas. But if the property manager is doing his job, then in essence, property management doesn't actually cost. It saves you money because you are taking advantages of the great efficiencies that the property manager has built into their system, and you're saving yourself from costly mistakes of sometimes doing it on your own.
I agree with that because I know it takes me more than a few days to turn things around. So if you turn it around faster than I do, then you're saving me money right there.
That's right, Karen. It's not making you any money when it's sitting vacant. So the object is to turn it around quickly and get it on the market quickly and get it leased quickly.
And probably to not have that vacancy in the first place. If you're getting me good tenants, probably better than I could get on my own as well.
That's right.
That's an interesting point. A lot of landlords will save themselves a lot of trouble over the course of the lease if they do all their homework up front. I mean, that by up front, that's properly screening the tenants, criminal background checks or credit reports, employment verification, and a tenant report. How has this tenant been in previous properties?
John, I got to wrap it up. What's your website real quick before I let you go?
The website is www.houstonrpm.com.
Thanks so much for being with us, Karen McClure. She's with the great folks over there at richclub.org. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
When we come back tomorrow, we're going to have much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and you've been listening to The Price of Business. Oh, I did forget to mention my good friends at Rich Club and Robotaton. All these great people, they're a reason why we're able to bring you this fantastic show.